All right, so today I want to talk about rates. And we know in the rate game, it determines whether we are going to be successful or not successful as freight brokers. We got to get the rate game right. We got to make profits in lanes. Our profit margins have to be consistent. If they're not, we're going to have problems. There are different types of freight. There's FTL freight and there's LTL freight. I don't suggest that you go to shippers in LTL lanes with FTL rates. You're not going to get many of those. If you have an LTL load, it would be good for you to be able to give an LTL rate. I'm going to give you an example of that today. This load is from Marshville, North Carolina to Greenwood, Indiana. It is 613 miles. How much do you think we're paying for that load? How much do you think we're going to offer the shipper for that load on a 600-mile load roughly? You might say $2 a mile. You might say $3 a mile if you're an FTL carrier. But what we would offer in that lane is $925. As a matter of fact, we've already offered it because we have this lane. As you can see, we've already moved it. So we moved it at $925 to the shipper, $800 to the carrier. Many of you say, oh, you won't get a carrier to move a 600-mile lane for $800. Yes, you will. You get that all day, every day. If you're in that space, if you have a network that understands the LTL game. Now, it's not true LTL because I believe true LTL is dry van freight. Dry van freight, I can take to LTL carriers and get a rate that's even cheaper than the $900, right? If we're going dry van freight, 600 miles, we're probably going to be in the $200 range, right? So LTL is a different game. In the LTL space, you are paying for the space that you're occupying on that truck. So if you're occupying enough room for 3 pallets, then you wouldn't pay for an entire truck. You're not looking for a dedicated truck to run 3 pallets. You want an LTL rate most times. So you're going to give your shipper an LTL rate. Now, again, if they want a dedicated truck and they want the entire truck, then we'll charge them an FTL rate. But you have to know the difference between the FTL and the LTL space to have some market share there. So that you can gain market share, you have to understand the space. Now, I know there are many FTL carriers that would say, I'm going 600 miles. It doesn't matter to me whether I'm going 600 with 30 pallets or 600 with 3 pallets. The rate is still the same because I'm going 600 miles. And I get it. You're entitled to price loads however you want to price them. But the question is, will that price work? Will you be able to make money at that price? I don't think so. Not most of the time, because shippers don't normally pay FTL rates in LTL lanes. That's what I wanted to share with you guys today. I certainly would like for you to tell us what you would be at in this lane. Marshville, North Carolina, Greenwood, Indiana. It's 3 pallets, 3,800 pounds, an LTL load. It's a frozen load. What would you be at as far as the numbers are concerned? I would certainly like you to drop us a comment and let us know. If you're interested in learning more about the freight broker business, I'll leave you a free link in the description box. It's a link to my 5-video series, and that series is titled How the Load Moving Process Works. It'll give you a chance to come into the office with me, and you can watch me as I move loads from point A to point B, talk to carriers, talk to shippers, and you can get an idea of how the business works before you come into it. And don't forget, if you're interested in getting your load board, we're going to leave you a free link in the description box that gives you the access to load board called TRUCKSTOP, and TRUCKSTOP's load board, you can get it for free for 1 month with our link in the description box. So until next time, see you at the top because the bottom is much too crowded.